Okay. All right. Well. Okay. I think it's a good time to start. Welcome, everybody. I know most of you. My name's Janet, and I'm a messenger from the Park of Study and Reflection of Red Bluff. And we're really glad you're all here today to participate with us in our presentation, excuse me, of the launching of our hall. So I wanted to begin just with some antecedents of how we got started, which some of you know, of course, but in the early 2000s, CELO launched with what we now know as CELO's message. And the idea was given that we could form 5 regional parks in the different continents around the world, parks that would become beacons of light and our message of nonviolence to the world. So when this proposal went out, us in North America got very excited because we saw the opportunity to be able to build a park in North America that could become a point of reference to many people. So we were incredibly excited about this proposal. And in 2004, we began searching for land. There was a certain criteria we had to meet. We had to find land that was about 5 acres big and that could be off a major highway or road, could be seen from the road, and also very close to a town or village that had, for example, medical services and resources that we could get. And so we began looking in earnest. We had different teams of people in the US, and there was a team in the Bay Area who decided that we'd try to look close to San Francisco. And it happened to be right during a real estate boom, a huge real estate boom in California. And the prices of land kept going up and up and up. So through the months, we kept looking further and further away from the Bay Area to try and find land suitable that also was zoned so that we could begin building without any impediments. And so finally in 2006, we found a beautiful piece of land in Red Bluff, and it fit all the criteria. It's right off Highway 99, which is the Pan American Highway, and right off of Highway 5. Both of those highways go from Mexico all the way up to Canada. And so they're very important transportation points for the entire US. So, and the land we found was commercial zoning, so we knew we could build a hall and everything we wanted to without having to go through extra impediments to do that. So we got very excited and we decided to try and contact the owner and seller of the land. So Ken's going to explain a little bit more about the timelines as we move forward with the project.
Yes, so hello everybody, nice to be here with you. So this 2-year search for the land ended up, that first picture on the left, the guy on the horse there was the owner of this land. His name is Brandon Minch. And I came up in late 2005 and met him, and he came on his horse like that, and he never got off his horse during the whole conversation. His dog was running around, and I had a 3-ring binder with our presentation in it that explained the entire project to him. And I used it like a flip book while he was sitting on his horse. And he loved the idea immediately. But he said he had to consult his family because his family live in the next farm. The farm that his family owns is right next to the park. And he would talk to them over Thanksgiving. He came back and he said he'd love to sell us the land. So that was great. And then we had to, of course, raise the money. So move on into 2006, we finally were able to get the money and purchase the land. And we purchased the land in March of 2006. And in June of 2006, we had the first international gathering here And we actually met at 11 o'clock at night. That's when we had the gathering, because there was a massive heat wave and it was 117 degrees Fahrenheit, 47 degrees Celsius, and you couldn't be out there during the day. So we actually came out at night for the first gathering. And it was a very memorable event. Then move on another year, and you see Paul and our beloved Mary Hobie, Silo always called Mary the Rock. They are on, if you can just go back, there we at 2007. That was the inauguration of the monolith there. And you see Paul and Mary reading a ceremony there. And again, that was a lot of people came from all over for that. So moving on now to 2014, we I don't think the slide came up yet, did it?
No, there's a delay.
It's a little late.
Yeah.
It'll show in a minute.
Yeah. All right. So I'll carry on. In 2014, we had the inauguration of the portal and a celebration. That really was thanks to Mary. Mary got the portal built, right? And that was her wonderful legacy for us. Every time I go through that portal, I think of Mary. And then a couple of years later, Janet in particular, got the students from Chico State University in the concrete cement department to make the creation of our fountain one of their projects. So that's all the students there creating the foundation. And then a little later on, we built the fountain itself with the help of Victor from Mexico, from the park there in Mexico. He came with his wife and helped us do that. And then in 2022, it seems like there's a long time between when we did the fountain and 2022 when we installed the fire prevention system and fire hydrants. And Michael's going to explain that in a minute, why that big time delay is there. But in 2022, we got the fire prevention, and probably you've all heard about the fires in Northern California and how traumatic that's been over the past few years and how important that is. And then finally in 2023, we were able to start we laid the foundation for the hall, and now we're in the process of building the hall. So I'm gonna hand it over now to Nora, who's gonna come up and just talk a little bit about the elements here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora from Red Bluff, of course. And I am the only one who's going to read because I don't trust myself. So bear with me. Well, the portal and the monolith. The portal, as many of you know, it's the transition from the mundane world to the sacred spaces. And then the monolith is our connection between heaven and earth, thinking as the axis of the world. Our monolith serves as a timeless reference point, echoing the spiritual significance of ancient architectural forms. The next one is the fountain, which will take a little bit, there it is. Fountain is our connection with across cultures and representing purification and rebirth. It's our connection to life because of the water. The fountain in our parks continue the tradition of linking heaven and earth, embodying the divine creative energy within us. And here's where we want to get to the Hall of Meditation. That's not ours, it's the Hall of Meditation at Toledo Park with all the people around it, and that's what we want to have here too. So this is why we're making this presentation. Then that's the Hall of, can we change? Oh. That's the inside of the hall at Manantiales Park, our images to get there as well. And now we have the Hall of Manantiales in the outside. And it's so beautiful, isn't it? Well, thank you for bearing with me. Now we have Michael that's going to present more details on everything.
Morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'm Michael. But before I read my notes, one thing occurred to me before we started this presentation, and that's that I took the lead on this section the last 4 years. I've been coordinating and pushing a lot for the building of the meditation hall, but I'm a public school teacher, you know, working with elementary school kids. I have no experience in construction. And I think that being really open and really humble in approaching so many different people in this project about that lack of knowledge really helped build positive relationships and receive good guidance on the last 4 years that we've been building this meditation hall. So the first roadblock that we had when building the meditation hall was that here in California, we're allowed to build a place of assembly only when we have an ample supply of water that can quickly reach the building in case of a fire. Our first attempt to do that actually wasn't those water tanks, those 2 enormous water tanks you see in the picture. Our first attempt was to drill under the state highway and connect to municipal water. When that didn't work out, our only other option was an on-site fire system. At first, we received really high estimates. People told us it would be impossible for a small group of volunteers to pay for a full-fledged fire system. But with months of persistence and building really positive relationships with the county, with the city, with firefighters and contractors, we were finally able to find someone who charged us a price that we could afford for a fire system we spent about 2 years building. At the same time that we were trying to resolve the issue of the fire system, we were also trying to find the correct method for constructing the meditation hall here in Red Bluff. We met with friends from all over the world who work as engineers and architects, and we reviewed previous meditation halls and tried drawing plans for our own meditation hall. Another volunteer here at Red Bluff and I contacted about 60 local contractors, and very few called us back. But with luck, one of them was interested in the challenge of our building and flexible to work within our timeline. Born and raised in Red Bluff, our contractor knows the local way of building and has local contacts. After reviewing a lot of the plans that we'd been working on from using previous construction methods, we learned that when we build in Northern California, we need to build the way that people do here. Having found our contractor, we hired a local team of engineers to make plans that were approved by the county. And finally, last year, we were able to lay the foundation for our hall. We fundraised about $100,000 between the volunteers here at Red Bluff Park for that portion of the project. And this year we held another fundraiser to build the exterior walls of the hall. This upcoming stage is going to be building out and installing more than 50 curved glued laminated wooden beams that will form our dome, covering it with plywood, framing the walls of our meditation hall. Now I'd like to pass the microphone over to our friend Paul Tooby, who can talk a little bit about the meaning of what we're doing.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I had the privilege of moving to Red Bluff 12 years ago. I was grateful to everyone who helped create the park because I was able to deepen in my meditation and ascesis, and it changed my life. I also learned about this small rural city of Red Bluff, which is far from the big cities. And there are a lot of poor people who live here, and many have serious problems. We put a box for askings at the park, and people left askings for things like their husband was in prison, or a family member had a serious drug problem, or cancer, and there were problems with violence. And then I was able to start a message meeting with some of these poor people in Red Bluff. And we had the most profound experiences that I've had in the message because of the fundamental problems, and then the search that goes with that. But it was difficult to send a signal of the message to people. So the thing we've been missing is a sustained signal of the message. Now with the hall that we're building, it will send a strong signal of the message out into the world. And as Janet mentioned, the park is on a busy highway. So there's a couple of thousand cars a day that drive by the park, and the hall is easily visible from the highway in both directions. So this signal will reach a couple thousand people every day. And some of them will be in a crisis, and they will be searching for something new. And guided by this signal of the message, some of them will find their way to the park, looking for something they do not know, but something new that can change their lives. And here they will find us, and they will have an experience that they may not understand, but they will leave feeling better. So completing this hall in Red Bluff will create this very favorable condition to send a sustained signal or beacon of light into the world, where it will reach these humble people who are searching for it. And so this is quite a significant opportunity for us, and we are very excited to go forward with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Bajo cambiar los slides.
Hi, I'm Rocio. So, and I'll be talking about the next part, that is funding. How do we get here to complete this beautiful meditation hall? So our intention is to finish the construction of the meditation hall by the end of the year. So for that, we are having a campaign, a financial campaign that is divided in two phases. The first phase is running from April 1st until April 30th. And that is happening now. And that is for larger pledges and contributions of $1,000 or 1,000 euros or more. And this contribution, you can do it by yourself. You can do it with your friends. You can get together with family or with your community of Silos message, or make a group contribution with your park. But yes, you can make these $1,000 contributions now. And the second phase is in May, next month. So from May 1st to the 31st, it'll be for smaller pledges and contributions of any amount. And our goal is to raise $150,000 so we can complete the exterior, the hall's exterior construction. And something that I wanted to mention is that we already did so much for this hall, like with the construction, with the purchasing the 2 tanks. And also we did an internal fundraiser with our friends and local people, and we got like $80,000 for the foundation. But we got more than $120,000 already with local contribution. So now we really need your help. And we need the international support. What else? Yes. So how can you do this contribution? So there are different ways that you can send us money. One is PayPal. You can use your PayPal account and send it to Circle of Friends at redbluffpark.org. If you are in the United States, it might be easier to send a check. So you can mail it to that address and make sure to write to Pangea World Community. And if you are in another country, it might be easier to find to send a domestic transfer, send cash, or another way that you're used in your country. So we have people that you can reach out to. Like if you're in Italy, Manu Cerveri will be our point person. If you're in Germany, Micha Steinbach or Almut will help you get your contribution to Red Bluff Park. If you're in Spain, Josefina Castelos, she's gathering the money, helping us collect it so we can get to Red Bluff Park. And when you make your contribution, please let us know. There are some emails of people that you can let know of how much you're contributing, when you're contributing, and how you're sending your money, so we can keep track of it. All this information is in our website, redbluffpark.org. But you can feel free to email us, any of us, or give us a call to ask of any other ways if these methods don't work for you. We can make sure that, that we can make your contribution. Also, if you make a big contribution, your name will be an Int'l that we plan to do in the future. But any contribution of any amount really helps us, and we really appreciate what you can do for us.
And we'll be at the Messengers Gathering in Toledo.
We'll have Ken and Janet. They'll be in the Messenger meeting in Toledo Park this summer. So you can also get to them your contribution. And now we're gonna do an asking so we can focus on all our forces in the completion of this beautiful meditation hall in Northern California. So Trudy will guide us on this. Are you there?
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Trudy, and I don't know if anybody is listening who doesn't know what an asking is. I think we all pretty much do. So this is just a very simple asking that I hope that we can all really internalize and share with everybody that we have an opportunity to share it with. So let's just take a moment now to ask together for our park. If we can either close our eyes or not, and just take a moment to breathe deeply into our heart, like Silo taught us. And let's just ask now. May the hall at Red Bluff Park be completed fully and without delay to shine as a beacon of hope, peace, and reconciliation for all humanity down through time into the infinite future. Thank you.
With this.